Okay guys, so in this video, let's talk about United Airlines stock some more, and is it a good buy at the current level? So it's around $28. So when I posted my latest video comparing Delta versus United Airlines, some of you guys asked me if I thought the stock would dip down back to around $24 where it was basically last week, guys. So I think that we've seen the worst from United Airlines. They have a new CEO, and that new CEO came out and said a lot of interesting things about the airline industry. So let's go right over to that article, guys. As you can see here, I'm on Yahoo Finance, and it says new United Airlines CEO says no to bankruptcy and mandating blocked middle seats. So as you can see here, new United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby has developed a reputation for his bluntness. So he recently did a 50-minute discussion at the Bernstein 36th Annual Strategic Decisions Conference, and he kind of shared his opinions. So, guys, he has confirmed that there will be no interest in filing bankruptcy for United Airlines stock. Obviously, unless in the most dire circumstances. So they did file for bankruptcy back in 2002 ahead with their merger with Continental Airlines. But guys, that was basically 18 years ago. So he said, I'll try to be calm since I'm on video. To me, it's like the dumbest question possible. We're not going to file for bankruptcy. It would be the absolute last thing to do. So that's a good sign. And then also they talked about how people were basically talking about blocking the middle seats at least until July to promote social distancing. And then it recently said that United basically backed away from this, guys. So they said that if a flight is booked at more than 70%, United is trying to contact customers to tell them it cannot guarantee distancing and is allowing them to change flights. About only 1% of eligible customers are taking United's offer, guys. So, very interesting there. They're not going to do what most airlines are doing. It looks like United is really trying to basically distance themselves from the rest of the airlines, and they do have the largest fleet in the world. So I can understand why they are acting this way. So as you can see here, he also talked about how that basically we've seen the worst from airline stocks, and since a lot of people have begun flying again, a lot more than in mid-April, it looks like we've seen the worst. So he said, as he said, most executives try to spin that as a positive, but for Kirby's more blunt, noting there was nowhere to go but up. It's just mathematical, he said. As more time goes by, there are fewer bookings to be canceled. So despite the quip, Kirby said business is improving. On Wednesday, United carried almost 50,000 passengers, up from fewer than 10,000 on 2 days in mid-April, though far fewer than the airline should be flying at this time of the year. We have a long way to go. It should be over 500,000, but certainly headed in the right direction. And then the article finishes up basically they're not going to be renewing their fleets, and they're going to be using older planes. The less risky financial decision is to keep the older planes. I view my job as chief risk manager, particularly as we go through a crisis that just changes your perspective on new aircrafts, guys. So, really, really interesting story here. And to finish things up, he also talked a little bit more about domestic versus international travel. And it says it has become conventional wisdom the U.S. domestic market will recover faster than the long-haul international. Given the restrictions on transcontinental flights, that's likely true. But in recent weeks, United's international system has been performing at least as well as the domestic business, Kirby said, as the airlines capitalize on robust cargo demand. So basically, he says, my guess is that if we ran a profit loss for international versus domestic, international is a better profit loss than domestic, which is counter to what everyone thinks, guys. So very interesting statements here. So now let's really talk about the price. Is Continental stock a good buy right now? So as I mentioned, guys, we're going to back up a little bit and show you guys how I think that airline stocks have bottomed in general. I agree, I agree a lot with what the CEO said. As we can see here, the stock has already formed a classic double bottom. So will you be able to purchase the stock back at around $23 or $24 or even $18 or $19? Probably not likely, guys. With those positive sentiments, I would expect the stock to basically be trading pretty flat because we're definitely in the accumulation stage. So if you guys aren't familiar with the four trading stages, you have accumulation, run up, distribution, and run down. So we're still in the accumulation phase. So this could this, you can see this trading range for, we've already been there for, if you can see here, this is the accumulation phase. So we've already been in this range for basically 2 months, and I would expect us to stay in this range until we really see flying bounce back, probably well into Q3. I'm thinking somewhat around maybe late July and August. So if you're a long-term investor, I think this is a good price to get in on United Airlines stock. Of course, you definitely want to use some stop loss orders. I mean, I don't really see how things could get any worse. I mean, it's not like things in April where basically there were no flights. So I expect every month from here on out, you'll see more and more and more people flying. And as the CEO said, basically they had 50,000 people flying where they should have 500,000. So they're basically at around 10% of their, uh, historical capacity around this season. So basically a lot of good news should be coming ahead, guys. So I think if you're trying to trade this stock, I think this is a nice time to get in, or you could buy some long-term call options if you're super patient, guys. But I say yes. Me personally, I'm not really buying airline stocks right now. I'm more interested in, I think, stocks that are a bit more recession-proof. But I still think if you guys are interested in United Airlines stock, now you still have time to get in it while you're in the accumulation phase before we enter the run-up, once a lot of people are basically more confident about this entire sector. So I hope this helped, guys. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more videos on United Airlines and other airline stocks. If you guys have any comments, please leave them in the comment section, and I'll do my best to answer them. So that's until next time, guys. Take care.